Welcome everybody. I hope you're having a great The Show 2016. I think it's been fabulous. The weather has been fabulous. The accommodations, the hotel, I think everything's been great. And we miss Richard Beers this year, and we hope that we carry on his tradition and the love for what we do. The title of my presentation is Magic Bus debuting the RSX-GS9 Sony source unit. I'll be presenting the first couple of slides, and then joining me from Tokyo, Japan will be Hirokazu Hayashi. He's the brilliant designer of the Sony GS9, which we call for short, and it's an extraordinary piece, and it's a great honor to have incorporated such an extraordinarily designed piece. It is, without question, the source unit that I always dreamed of having in the Magic Bus. It has taken it to a whole new level, and I'm so honored that Hirokazu designed such a wonderful piece. And he'll be joining me later after a couple of slides, but first I'll introduce the Magic Bus 3.0 and what's new about it over Magic Bus 2.0. Magic Bus 3.0, of course, the focal point is the new GS9 digital media player from Sony. It's an entirely transport-free, mechless source unit, which runs principally off of memory sticks, USB memory sticks. And that's a wonderful way, this is the way I've always dreamed of rendering the music with the convenience. The convenience of digital and the performance of high resolution, and this is ultra high resolution. We're now at 5.6 DSD, and we're at 192/24. So this is state of the art. This is as good as it gets, and you truly have to hear it to understand what this source unit does for the Magic Bus. Many of you I see in the audience probably heard the Magic Bus last year, and of course it was a very good sounding bus, and the Sony unit has taken it to a whole new level. People have said that it provides a sense of ease and relaxation and beauty and warmth that it did not formerly have, and I agree wholeheartedly. I was astounded at the performance that the source unit provided, and congratulations, Hiro, and I can't wait for you to come up and share some of the design attributes of what you did for your masterpiece, which is going to firmly plant you in the audio world as designing the greatest source unit for mobile audio, and it's such an honor. Anyway, there's more to the Magic Bus 3.0. It has an accompanying Helix DSP Pro processor that's 9624 processing. It's 56-bit internal processing, and it features parametric equalization, infinitely adjustable on all the loudspeakers. There are nine acting as 7. So the front stage consists of 6 loudspeakers, augmented by a subwoofer, which is summed to mono and in the rear of the van. The amplification is provided by Genesis, and we're using 6 Genesis amplifiers, all of which were sent back to England to be modified by Gordon Taylor of the Amp Doctor in UK. And he upgraded the Genesis amplifiers, which are already extraordinary, with op amps and capacitors, and increased the bias and worked his magic to bring out the most of those wonderful amplifiers. The loudspeakers are of course all Dynaudio. They haven't changed from Magic Bus 2.0. The cables are new. Formerly I was using certain types of Kimber silver cables. I've now augmented it with even more Kimber silver cables, the KCAG series if you're interested in that particular product line. And I elected to use the analog outputs of the source unit and used the Kimber silver cables to go from the analog outs of the source unit, which retains the beautiful volume control of the GS9, which is central in the piece, and Hiro will explain more about that. So there's more silver, there's silver RCAs, and the cabling, I think, makes a big difference, and thanks to Ray Kimber for designing such great cables and supporting the Sony Magic Bus 3.0 by providing his state-of-the-art products. And the connections, of course, are WBT. The bus, interestingly enough, may be a unique audio system that contains the most WBT connections of any audio system in the world, but that's because of the the quad amplification and all of the speakers and the binding posts and everything. So hats off to WBT for making great audio connections. There's more to the DC power infrastructure. Many know that Excess Power is a wonderful battery manufacturer, and they support IASCA and the competitive organizations, and they have a strong prominence in the industry. And I switched to 3 Group 27 batteries for the auxiliary battery in the Magic Bus. And those 3 Group 27s were joined together by very special copper bus bars that I designed using 101, what they call superconductive copper. What that means is it's very high purity, like 99.99% copper, and its conductivity is the best of all copper. Typically 110 copper is used for electrical connections, so 101 is a step above that. And then to maintain that performance, I had the copper bus bars silver plated, and then those silver plated copper bus bars were then had heat shrink applied to them to protect the silver from corroding. Now, the silver corrosion is not that much of a problem because the conductivity of the silver oxide is quite good. And so that was a big step up. And those batteries deliver incredible amounts of instantaneous current, which I think contributes to the newfound slam and drive that the Magic Bus 3.0 is exhibiting. Not to mention the source unit, which is also a huge part of that. The rest of it is pretty much the same, mostly comes from the marine industry. Blue Sea Systems. Phoenix Contact is an industrial company that makes terminal blocks. Anchor Marine is marine. So much of that is the same. The AC power infrastructure is exactly the same as before. And at this point, it is my great honor to introduce the designer of the GS9, all the way from Tokyo, Japan, who I've met for the first time and gotten to know over the last couple of days. And I think we've formed a friendship and we've shared some great memories already. And I'm very, very pleased to introduce Hiro-san. Will you please join us? Give a warm welcome for Hiro-san.
Hello, everybody. First day, thank you very much for having me today, and it is a great honor to be here and to meet all of you here. So, my name is Hiro Kazuhayashi. If you don't mind, please call me Hiro, because I put the Hiro as a footname in the box. I saw that. So today, I'd like to introduce about first high-resolution car audio player, RSX-GS9 from Sony today. So before I introduce about the RSX-GS9, let me talk about little the background of GS9 today. So for development of the GS9, I just made a concept, and we started to design the GS9 at the beginning of 2014, and we started to mass production at the end of last year. So it means it took 2 years to develop it. So during the development, actually, the GS9 was supposed to start mass production last summer, but actually we tried to put off the half year to improve, in order to improve the sound quality. So that's why we just try to focus on profoundly to improve this head unit, because this is a kind of high-end car audio piece. So that's why we put off the half year. So now I just respect the Sony, and I think it is not so easy to develop the car high-end piece for everybody, because I think it is not so easy to design it, because we have to get the knowledge and also acoustic knowledge and specification. But we made it. Actually, I think this is kind of why we can make it is that because we are Sony. And then I just respect Sony and Sony engineers and affiliates, and also people to be here for listening my presentation this time. And finally, I just personally speaking, I'm just profoundly, I'm just proud of GS9, like my real daughter. I told my colleagues, my friends, because GS9 is not just like a product for me. Just like I feel GS9 is like my real daughter. Yeah, because I got the daughter in Japan. So this is a kind of the introduction, the background of GS9. And then from now on, I'd like to talk about some more detail about GS9. And I just write the summary of key technologies, some key parts about GS9. And first, I'd like to talk about advanced technology. And the reason GS9 gives the ultimate listening pleasure is to use the digital audio converter ES1918S. This ES1918S, the industry-leading converter IC that gives the optimum sound quality for all of your digital music files. So this IC gives the GS9 about the premium sound quality reserved for a high-end home audio component. The next thing we might think is another key device that affects to sound quality is an operational amplifier. So our intention, we have been searching for an operational amplifier was not only having a sound quality, but also having any effect to our emotion by sound. So as you can see, we selected Muse's 8920E. This IC is developed to meet audiophile sound quality. That's why, this is the reason we selected Muse's 8920E. And the next is the audio capacitors. And the GS9 uses Sony exclusive audio capacitors developed to dedicated use of audio product. And then Sony exclusive audio capacitors gives the bright character and a depth to the sound. This is a great stuff too. And also GS9 uses low noise electric volume control IC, which aims at having not only sound quality, but also reducing noise as well. Noise, it means that gives a negative influence to the sound quality. And the next is the flexible operation. And what makes GS9 great is that GS9 is the world's first car media player has the functionality of native DSP playback. So And also GS9 accepts DSD file, not only DSD 2.8, and also double DSD. It means that DSD 5.6. This is a great thing too. And also GS9 supports PCM data 192 for sampling frequency and a 24-bit for bit depth. This is a great stuff too. And also GS9 supports multiple file formats in the product market. Possibly we can buy or download from the cloud. This is a great start function too. Now, next one is I'd like to talk about the right side of the refined design. And GS9 uses 1.6 thick chassis, which is 2 times the thickness if we compare it to the normal CD head unit. And also, GS9 has the highly stable structure. So all of these contribute to minimizing a negative influence to the sound quality. And the GS9 front panel is the fully aluminum stuff, and also precision encoder. The middle here, this is a great stuff too. And then every touch, this precision encoders moves and touches your emotion by silky movement. So we got the demonstration car out there, the Magic Pass and a Golf from Sony. So after my presentation and John's presentation, please go back through that way and please join and feel it. This silky movement is a great stuff too. I highly recommend that. And the next one I'd like to talk about more detail about ES1918S. ES1918S, the audio files stored in digital form is must be converted into analog audio signals in order to be heard throughout speakers. So therefore, we think the sound quality of digital audio converter is highly affects to the sound quality of the music player. So I just write it down. ES1918S has the performance. THD is 120 dB and negative, and also DNR is 135 DNR. So this is for device itself. So the high resolution sound reproduction realized with ES1918S gives the fine details and also clarity to the sound, and also providing aerial the quality and the presence. Imagine as if you are in the middle of the concert hall or the mixing room or recording studio. This is a great stuff too. And then for ES1918S, we selected our 80 megahertz high precision jitter canceling clock generator is equipped to improve 8019S conversion accuracy. And that's why we selected this best performance DAC, a 32-bit best performance digital audio converter by ESS Corporation in order to develop the best car audio player ever. And the next step, I'd like to talk about the high resolution playback. So GS9 gives the wide variety of high resolution playbacks. So first I mentioned GS9 supports not only 2.8 and also 5.6 as well. So GS9 has the 2 kinds of USB port. One of them, excuse me, it is a little bit difficult to see, but this is the USB A port. It's a kind of standard port. And here, the next left is there's the USB micro B port. So first one, just you prepare the USB thumb drive and put in the high resolution music in there and plug it into it, and the GS9 plays the all high resolution songs. And this micro B port works as USB DAC functionality. So this USB micro B port gives you the capability of natively DSP playback if you put the high resolution contents in the smartphone. And then also, a little bit I mentioned before, GS9 supports multiple high resolution file formats, DSF and DFF and WAV and FLAC, and AIFF, and ALAC. This is a kind of almost all like a high resolution file formats that in the product market we can get or we can download from the cloud. This is a great stuff too. Yes, and the next one is the no exception for Sony high resolution product. GS9 features Sony exclusive sound engine called DSE-HX, so which stands for Digital Sound Enhancement Engine. So this engine upscales compressed audio files, for instance, MP3 or those kind of compression audio, to quite close to high resolution sound quality. So if you have any compressed audio that you like to, your favorite thing, so please bring to our demonstration card and plug into it and just feel the sound quality is better and splendid premium. Please feel it after that. Yes?
Is Sony Records still supporting DFC mastering? Mastering in DFC format?
Sony Record, yes, we do. We sell DSD file in Japan market especially. We sell DSD file. Yeah. The next one, and also with no exception, Sony high resolution product. GS9 also features about the Sony exclusive wireless listening transmission technology called LBack. So LBack is uncompromising sound quality that enables the transmission of high resolution content over Bluetooth connection. So you might think that all smartphone devices nowadays we have got the function of Bluetooth, so it works as well. But you have to care about LDAC compatible devices sometimes are limited. Let's say I like to give you the example. The Sony Walkman has this LDAC function, and also Android smartphone devices from Sony called the Xperia. I got this function. Please check your source devices has this function before you try to proceed to try it. And the next one is a refined design. And a GS9 front panel is fully solid aluminum and with a machine cut stuff, and formed in a 14 millimeters single shell design. And also the hairline is given to all the exposed surface, even including outer circumference. And also together with a black anodized coating, so it provides exceptional quality in all senses. And also single shell design structure gives the high rigidity to the front panel block. And then it means that protects the vehicle vibration property. And then 4 buttons on the left here, you can see now, 4 buttons on the left are fully aluminum as well. So every touch brings you the firm feel of metal and also make you feel joy to own. I'm sure of that. And then the next one is a highly stable structure. So for superb sound quality, it is quite important to have high rigidity in chassis, as well as controlling electromagnetic interference, as well as controlling, as well as preventing digital circuit boards from becoming noise sources. So to meet all of 2 requirements, we 2-story chassis structures are adapted. And then lower layer here stores the circuit boards, which are a dedicated analog audio process, is fully shielded and separated from the digital circuit boards. So first floor is the analog and audio signals board, and the second floor is the digital circuit board. This board is fully shielded. This metal part, and this is the cover stuff. So, and every single cable connecting, every single cable is fully shielded, connecting. This is a digital board to analog board, and also digital board to front panel. This, every single cable is fully shielded to reduce digital noises as much as possible to give the negative influence to sound quality. So, super rigid dual layer chassis structure, two-story structure prevents the vehicle vibration to give the negative influence to the delicate audio components in order to develop the best sound quality products. So this is all, and thank you very much for listening today. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, Hiro-san. What a great honor to have the actual designer of the piece present his love and passion for his product. That put a high responsibility on my work to give it the honor that it deserves. So the first consideration I had to make is, how do you mount it? How do you give it the respect that it deserves? So this diagram shows you what I did. Typically, there's a sleeve, this metal part, into which most head units slide. It's called a DIN slot. And typically, that DIN slot is installed into a mounting kit, which is typically plastic. And when I saw the beautiful aluminum faceplate on the GS9, I realized there could be no plastic associated with the GS9. It had to be aluminum, and it had to be anodized to match. So what I did is my dash has a complex alcove into which the head unit is recessed. And I took plywood and body filler and made a mold. And then I sent that to a local machine shop. And they used a process called wire electro-discharge machining. And they produced, first they used a coordinate measuring machine to digitize every surface. And then they used the wire, they transferred that digital, three-dimensional digital file to the machine, which then used electro-discharge machining to make the aluminum shape. So I got the aluminum shape, and then I had to bevel the edges, and I finished all of this by hand to give it the finish that matches the beauty of the GS9. This, by the way, is a 1/2 inch thick, just like the front panel of the GS9. To minimize resonances and maximize rigidity, I used cyanoacrylate adhesives around the back side to fully bond the metal sleeve into the aluminum to make it as one. Here's a backside view of the installation, and there's more to the installation. So now you're looking, you take my dash and you flip it upside down, and you look underneath the dash. The face of the head unit, the source unit, the GS9, is that way, outward. This is the back side. Here's another 1/2 inch piece of aluminum, and this is an EAR, constrained layer damping compound. It is sandwiched between the front aluminum, the beauty piece, and this back supporting plate. So there is 1 inch of aluminum supporting the GS9, containing a 1/8 inch thick or 3/16 inch thick EAR damping compound. So this was really the ultimate supporting structure for the GS9. So it further enhances the already very stable design of the GS9. The GS9 is equipped with Bluetooth and has many of the convenience features that we would expect today in a mobile source unit. And one of my favorites is the microphone, which is a very high caliber, and it is used for Bluetooth telecommunications. So here, normally this microphone comes with a clip, and you would clip this on your sun visor. But I wanted a more recessed and more beautiful integrated look. So what I did is I took the dome light, the standard dome light, and I made this polycarbonate piece by hand. I sawed this out of 1/2 inch thick polycarbonate. Then I bonded it using a Lord clear epoxy adhesive to the dome light right at this interface. Then I used a gold-plated copper set screw to lightly clamp the microphone into the dome light. This is a short pigtail that I made to plug into the microphone cable, the coaxial microphone cable that goes to the GS9. And then this is what it looks like when viewed from below, sitting in the driver's seat. So basically you can't see the microphone except you look for these 5 holes and you know it's there. The next part of the integration was making the interconnects. As I said earlier, I used the analog outputs, and that was to retain that beautiful volume control that Hiro-san talked about. But these analog interconnects are very special because they're made with pure silver, and they were provided by Kimber Cable. Not only did I use the tri-braid silver cable, I also took it up a notch because I wanted to respect the low noise floor of the GS9 and maintain that low noise floor. So Kimber helped me come up with a copper beryllium braided sleeve which covers the silver interconnect. And on top of that, there is a carbon infused nylon braided sleeve which covers the copper beryllium sleeve. So I have essentially double shielded interconnects that were custom made for the Magic Bus to implement the GS9. To the right is a picture of the interconnects. You can see the black carbon infused sleeving and of course the Kimber heat shrink logos. So one of the wonderful attributes of the Magic Bus 3.0 is the very short interconnects after processing. That interconnect, for instance, is about 6 inches long, and the longest interconnect, this one here, is about 2 feet, maybe 1.5 meters or so. So this doesn't give the opportunity for noise to enter into the system. Digital signal processing is a very important part of mobile audio because the audio environment is challenging. The best product currently made is the Helix DSP Pro, and it's a highly capable unit. It features 9624 processing. It actually has 10 channels of output. And one thing that's very nice is the 6-volt output, which maintains the signal-to-noise performance that Sony worked so hard to develop. So their output is about 4 volts, 4.3, maybe up to 4.6 volts, I think, at clipping. And my job was to maintain the pristine signal and if possible, boost it just a little bit through the processor to maintain that pristine signal to noise ratio. Again, basically infinitely adjustable crossover levels and slopes, essentially unlimited crazy amounts of parametric equalization, time alignment down to 10 millionths of a second, and the analog signal to noise ratio is a fabulous 108 dB. So this lends to just an extraordinary level of performance. Another important aspect of any mobile audio system is the battery, the power. The power supply is of great importance to the performance of the system, and like I said earlier in the original slides, I upgraded to the excess power batteries, and those batteries were joined together by these silver-plated copper bus bars. So here's an example of how they are attached to the batteries, and I use silver conductive paste to join the bus bars to the batteries. So each of these screws is a terminal, the positive terminal, of course, and the negative terminal. And this is the ground, which goes to the master ground of the, it comes out about right here and goes down to the shunt, which measures the current demand of the system. And then that goes to the chassis ground of the Magic Bus. So again, another strategy to maintain purity is to route all audio system components separate and isolated from the chassis back to the battery, and then only ground the battery at one point to the chassis. By the way, this is an engine hoist. This battery pack weighs in excess of 200 pounds, and 2 people can't lift it. So we had to resort to doing this, and this same device is used to put the subwoofer in, which weighs close to 400 pounds when it's ready to install. So there's a lot of heavy stuff in this bus. The audio system weighs, with the acoustical treatments, about 3,000 pounds. So one person described the bus as a self-propelled audio system rather than a car stereo. I thought that was funny. So this is the Magic Bus 3.0 with the high-res logo, and the initiative with Sony is to promote the importance of high-resolution audio and the emotional connection that high-res imparts to the music. The Magic Bus features the digital convenience of downloading and playing your music, but it also features the high resolution. In essence, you can have your cake and eat it too. And the high res is so important to the music and expressing that music the way the artists had intended. So for now, we'll have a question and answer period, and these questions can be directed to me or Hiro-san, and we would love to answer any questions that you might have. And I'd like to acknowledge Sony for making the source unit, which I've always dreamed of having in the Magic Bus. I would like to acknowledge the Sony team, Yuki and Hiro and Takumi and Sashi and Richard. My sincere thanks for getting to know you and attending the show with you. And if you haven't checked out the Golf, it's an extraordinary car. It has beautiful paint and beautiful wheels and thrilling design, all unlike the Magic Bus, which is more like an instrument. And so I encourage you to see artistry at its maximum by looking at the Volkswagen Golf and taking a listen to the Golf. And it's an extraordinary honor to have the Golf exhibiting with the Magic Bus. And I got to meet Richard and have dinners and talk about design. And for me, that was a big thrill. And course, nothing can top the thrill of meeting Hiro, the actual designer of the unit. So thank you, Hiro. So now we'll open it up to some questions.
John, what kind of music are you playing?
Yes, the question was, what kind of music am I playing? I have to confess that there are younger listeners who don't like any of my music. And the beauty of the GS9 is that Hiro can join me and stream Bluetooth off of their phone. So the listener can come and play their music in an impromptu manner. They can say, hey, here's my phone. And Hiro links up their phone to the GS9 right on the spot. And they've got their music, which they enjoy and know, and they can hear it in a way that the GS9 will blow them away. They can hear their music like they never heard it before. And that's thrilling. We're playing 5.6 DSD files, which are extraordinary. We're playing 192.24 kilohertz files. We're playing all genres. I just demonstrated the bus, and we went from AC/DC at excruciating volume, and I think my ears are still ringing, and to some of the most delicate and intimate and precise vocal, cello, piano. It's the Magic Bus. Really, the beauty is it tries to render it all. So whatever kind of music you love, hopefully it gives it back to you the way you love it. Any other questions? Mike, you had a question about jitter. I think you were talking about jitter or some other question that you had about the GS9, and I suggest. Can you repeat the question to? So the question was, how much jitter does the GS9 have? Is that correct? And the answer was less than 15 ppm. That's extraordinary. Wow. Thank you, Mike. Any other questions?
What kind of files do you actually have right now? 5.8 DHC?
Yeah, what kind of files am I playing? We have many from Cookie Marenko in 5.6 DSD, and they sound wonderful, absolutely wonderful. There's a sense of ease and authority and power and delicacy and just all of the I can talk forever about the bus, but you have to hear it. It's once you hear it, it's like it resonates with you, Okay, thank you everyone for your attendance, and thank you, Sony.